I thought it was quite shocking. I didn't know about this before.
Like, we don't learn this at school.
Stories of our tupuna who went to war.
It's so important for the rangatahi to learn about this kind of stuff.
And the sacrifices they made for a better future.
It's a big part of our history. As Māori, we're storytellers.
I think it's important to know the catastrophes of war.
The Vietnam War in the 60s and 70s saw more than 3,000 personnel deployed from Aotearoa. Few stories have emerged from that war about our soldiers and their efforts on the battlefield. But one has captured international attention: Operation Hermit Park. One platoon, Victor 6 Company, led by Lieutenant Norman Fry. Amongst his men, Private Bill Papuni, Ngāti Porou, and Medic Mike Williams. 25th of June, 1971, they encounter an enemy bunker system. Fierce firefight breaks out. Victor 6's job to protect advancing Australian tanks. Suddenly, a tank is hit by an enemy RPG. Under heavy fire, Bill Papuni, unarmed, jumps onto the tank and hauls out the 2 Australian crewmen, both seriously wounded. Still under ambush, medic Mike Williams attends to the men on the ground. Their lives are saved. Fast forward 50 years.
Operation Hermit Park.
This story is about to be brought to life. Not in Aotearoa, but Australia.
I'm quite nervous about it.
Maui, Hitchens and Tia Ormsby, both Ngāti Porou, have been chosen to perform in front of thousands as part of Australian ANZAC commemorations.
I'd say it's quite an honour.
I thought it was super kind of fulfilling.
Yeah.
But what do these rangatahi know of warfare?
I'm very foreign to the concept of war, so is a lot of Aotearoa.
I don't really understand the point of war. There's better ways to solve stuff. What do we want?
They may not know war directly, but this generation actively fights global issues on home soil.
Our generation is very politically active. While we might not be in war currently, we are really active in it. We will not be able to live in this world if we don't fight for it. The assault plan was simple.
But for now, they've got lines to learn, because tomorrow they're off.
I'm ready to get that story out there.
This is now their story.
Kia ora, kei konei mātou ki te paparirirangi, inka haere atu mātou ki Aotearoa.
We're off to Australia.
A flight over the Tasman.
Kei konei mātou.
Flight 1 done, we're waiting for the train.
And a long train ride later.
Been here on this train nearly 3 hours.
Maui and Tia finally arrive in Newcastle. Days of rehearsals follow. Their performance, the story of Bill Papuni, a humble soldier who never spoke of his heroism and died when he was only 33.
The Australian and New Zealand troops live together and play together.
Maui is portraying his commanding officer, Norman Fry.
Playing Norman, it's quite scary. There's no possibility for me to be able to actually feel everything he's feeling or understand everything that he went through at that time, and also understand everything he went through afterwards.
Show day arrives.
This is the day that we are performing.
Purely running off vibes and adrenaline right now, iti iwi. Oh, look at the beautiful venue.
William, Scott, really.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your 5-minute call.
Oh!
Start stage for the start of the show.
Welcome to the 2024 Combined Schools ANZAC Service. We will now share an example where Australian lives were saved by New Zealand soldiers.
Operation Hermit Park. The assault plan was simple. The Australian tanks, supported by the New Zealand infantry, would directly assault the objective, which was a hidden bunker system of the enemy. We had advanced about 50 metres towards the bunker system when the forward left tank received a direct hit from what appeared to be a rocket-propelled grenade.
The grenade hit the top of the turret.
Under direct enemy fire, Private William Papuni removed the wounded tank crew from the turret.
As I remember it, Bill was standing on top of the tank, which was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then he handed these guys down to us.
William Papuni and John Adams passed the wounded down to Private Mike Williams and Private John Galley, who provided the vital first aid treatment.
One of them had his arm completely blown off, and he was unconscious.
These New Zealand soldiers rescued the Australian tank crew and provided them with life-saving first aid.
Ka manatu tonu tātou ki a rātou. Ka manatu tonu tātou ki a rātou. Tūturu whakamaua ki a tīna. Tīna. Haumie hui tai ki e.
Kia ora whānau. I just came off stage from my first scene in the show.
Backstage, Tia is surprised by the heroes themselves, Medic Mike Williams and Platoon Commander Norman Fry.
Mike Williams has flown all the way from New Zealand and will be joined on stage by Philip Barwick's widow, Kath, and Mike's commanding officer, Norman Fry.
On stage, Mike the medic is reunited with the wife of the tank crewman whose life he saved. Phil Barwick lived another 17 years after he came home from war.
Unfortunately, Mike Williams, John Galley and Bill Papuni never received a bravery medal. I have spent 53 years fighting for the recognition they deserve.
After Operation Hermit Park, these men were nominated to receive medals for their outstanding gallantry. But despite numerous approaches, our government has never recognised these selfless acts of bravery, claiming Australia's medal quota system did not allow this. And just this month, Defence Minister Judith Collins closed the door for good. Despite not receiving their medals, their bravery and sacrifice were not in vain.
So how did you guys feel about Bill Papuni's story and your story being retold on stage?
I think any way the story is kept alive and passed down the generations so that people understand what Bill did and Mike did is really important. And we really appreciate your performances.
We all have ethical compasses. We all know what's good and bad and what to fight for. But I think it's the people who actually do the mahi, they make the steps forward to take action and make the world better. I think that's like a hero, Bill saving someone. I think that's pretty heroic.
Doing it from your heart.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally.
Yeah. Just to be acknowledged in Aotearoa for that bravery, I think it's super important. Ko mātou te rangatira moa popo. And we need to keep these stories alive and well looked after for the generations to come.